But let's start off with this Ugarte update. So Chris Wheeler is saying exactly what we said last night, that it's a trap. Man United offered Ugarte on loan with an obligation to buy for £51 million. But Manchester United still aren't taking the bait and still feel that is too much money for Manchester United. So basically, it's as we said last night, Manchester United want to pay 50 million euros. They want to pay 42 million pounds. They want to pay 50 million euros. PSG want 60 million euros, 52 million pounds. We are apart by 10 million. So this loan with an obligation to buy is still, yeah, you can buy him in a year for 60 million euros, which is what United don't want to pay now. It is a little bit sticky. It is a little bit dirty tricks from PSG. It is a little bit, trying to get in through the back door with the same deal that we won't pay now. I think there has to be a little bit of wiggle room here. The most obvious bit of wiggle room is they want 60 million euros. We want to pay 50 million euros. Let's pay 50 million euros with add-ons of 5 and meet in the middle. I mean, it's just incredible that you've got a player that wants to come, a club that wants to sign him, a club that wants to sell him, and you are apart on 10 million euros. It's just incredible to me. So look, as we've already spoken about this last night, PSG are offering up that year loan because they still want to get what they want now. Man United probably won't take it because they don't want to pay next year what they don't want to pay now. In fact, when you think about it, it might be worse to pay next year what you don't want to pay this year, because if the loan goes okay, you might think he's not worth it even more. So, yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how that one pans out, but a little bit more there on what the price is. I find it strange that Lucas knows about Scott's situation. Perhaps Scott is part of the leaks in the past. Fingers crossed for Ugarte, says Liam. Liam, you'd have to give us a little bit more there. I don't read anything that guy's got to say. I think he's toxic. He said the same about me. I don't read anything he's got to say. So you'll have to bring it into the news show because I'm not interested. I think he's the master of stating the obvious this morning and every other morning. In fact, it reminds me of my being around my grand's house about 10 years ago. I just brought some fish and chips for us all round. There was salt and vinegar, but when I opened up the cupboard, I wanted some ketchup. There was no sauces, which is a bit like Luckhurst. Anyway, let's get into the show. Maybe Liam could tell us what that's all about. Is there any value in the free agent market, says Tech? I wouldn't have thought there's anything in the free agent market this late in the transfer window. I wouldn't have thought so, really. No, but let's talk about Scott McTominay, because actually this might generate a little bit. I really want to talk about the Ederson story. Can I talk about the? I can't. I will talk about the Ederson story. I'm really excited about this because it's a good source from Italy saying that we're in talks with Atalanta about Ederson. But I'll give you the detail on that in a minute. Rabiot is probably a good shout. I don't know what's happening with Rabiot, and he is a free agent. But is he good value? Is he? Tech says, is there any good value? He's not good value at 250k a week, is he? Let's talk about Scott McTominay. So numerous stories coming in overnight from Italy and beyond that Napoli, McTominay, Conte all like each other. They're all in constant contact, but Napoli ain't got the money. And Napoli's priority is Lukaku. And we've got to actually also say, as much as Fulham were interested in Scott McTominay, they've just spent £50 million on Burge and Anderson. They've bought Anderson from Crystal Palace for £30 million. He's older than Scott McTominay and he's a centre-back. They've bought Sander Burge for 20. So I think we've got to be realistic here. I was listening to the radio this morning, Talk Shite, and effectively they were talking about Scott McTominay. And you know what they were saying? I think it was Ali McCoist and Andy Townsend, right? And look, I like them, but their opinion on this is just shocking. They don't watch Man United, basically. Ali's always been a massive fan of McTominay, and I just don't think they watch Man United. And effectively, what they were saying was that, every team needs a Scott McTominay. They're worth their weight in gold. They'll give everything to the shirt. They can pop up with important goals. Every team needs a Scott McTominay. And I thought, you know what? What crap punditry that is. One, you don't watch Man United every week, so you don't see what most of us see. The fact is, he is very useful. coming on and getting a goal in the box. But for the rest of if you start him, it's 80 minutes of hide and seek. I'm fed up with this sentimentality. We had it with Wan-Bissaka. The minute we started talking, for the last 2 years, everybody wants to sell Wan-Bissaka. The minute you start talking about selling Wan-Bissaka, sentimentality kicks in. And they go, oh, no, Aaron's such a good lad. He's such a good lad. You need a player like that. You need a player like that in the squad. You do. You need a player like that. Oh, we can't be selling Wan-Bissaka. Sentimentality FC. You know the sentimentality I've got? Winning Premier League titles. And I've missed it for over a decade. Oh, we've got to get ruthless. And the same thing's happening with McTominay now. Oh, you can't be selling McTominay. You need a player like that around. Yeah, you do. Oh, yeah. He's worth the weight in gold. He's worth his weight in gold, he is. Yeah. He's about as useful as a Christmas jumper. Once a year, for about 2 weeks, everyone says, oh, amazing. But there's another 48 weeks where it's just irrelevant. Not everybody needs a Scott McTominay. Fulham never bloody wanted McTominay. That was a load of bollocks. Oh, we can't afford it. They're not Scottish. Fulham can't afford Scott McTominay. We can't afford 25 million. We can't afford 25 million. Oh, we've just spent 20 million on Burge and 30 million on Anderson. They were bloody playing us. We need to move him on ASAP. Not everybody needs a Scott McTominay. It's absolute talk rubbish. Absolute nonsense. This sentimentality, you know what it basically is? He's a nice kid from the youth setup who turns up on time and works hard. Have Man City got one of them players? Have Arsenal got one of them players? Have Liverpool got one of them players? Have they? Bollocks. You know what players they've got? Good players. Good players who turn up and work hard. They're not championing passion merchants. They are championing talent. Until we start learning this lesson, we will never progress. And I'm not surprised to listen to that on the radio this morning. And I'm not surprised to see it in this chat or online as well. I saw a compilation of McTominay this morning on Twitter. You know what it was? Blocks and headers. I'm like, oh my God. Am I watching the season highlights for Forest Green Rovers? Or whatever they're bloody called. Blocks and headers. Oh, everyone needs one of these. They don't need one of these. We don't need one of these. We need a bloody midfielder who can play as a number 6. That's what we bloody need. We don't need someone to chuck on when we're losing 1-0 to Brentford. Don't be fucking losing 1-0 to Brentford in the first place. Get hold of the ball. Get 70% possession. Create 12 chances. Win the fucking game. Don't be in a position where you're losing to Brentford and you've got to throw a bloody player into the box anyway. It's mad. It's absolutely crazy. It really is. Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.